Right, so hey everyone and welcome back to another budget photography video. So zoom lenses can be, in a lot of cases, very expensive. But today I want to look at one of the cheapest and probably one of the best in its price range. And that is the 75 to 300. Now this is my lens. This lens in particular has been through hell. Yes, I'm touching the front. I know it. I know. You guys probably don't like it. Look, I'm touching the lens. Ooh, it's a lens. Get over it. This lens for me has been very good. It's been kind of a workhorse for me. To be fair, it's more than paid off how much I paid for it. So it's paid for itself really. But I do need to retire this. It's been dropped so many times. It's actually been set on fire. I don't know if you guys be able to see that. Let's change this over to manual focus so that I can... Come on, there we go. So can you guys see that? Just there, where it was actually set on fire. So let's just, there we go. I think I've come back into focus. Yep, there we go. So yeah, this was set on fire, it's been dropped, that's why it doesn't have any protection around the front element, so I do have to now be very careful with it. But I do like this lens, and I'll be kind of sad to see it go, but I just don't use this lens enough anymore. So I will be doing another video later on and tearing it down. I want to film another video of it before it goes, so I thought I'd do a review. So is this lens any good in 2020? Well, so is this lens any good in 2020? Yes, it has a focal range of 75 to 300 millimeters, which is, when you put it on a crop censored body like this, it is nuts. It has an EF mount, which means it can go on most Canon cameras. So even an EFS mount like this, which, to be fair, I would really put it on a crop body. It has an f4.5 to 5.6. So you're gonna get a pretty dark aperture, but that's okay. Now there is one big downside to this lens, and that is the chromatic aberration. This lens is really bad on chromatic aberration. So when picking up one of these lenses, please have that in mind. But I think Canon really designed this at the amateur market rather than at the pro, so chromatic aberration isn't really a big deal. There are a lot of softwares that could probably deal with chromatic aberration in camera or outside of camera. It can fit full frame like this, but I really wouldn't put it on a full frame camera purely because it is a tele lens. So I would keep this on a 1.6 crop camera. So which means that you'll be getting more of a reach out of, well, more of a reach out of the camera. So because of a crop factor on this body, for example, if this is a 1.6 times crop, if you do the maths, this lens actually starts out at 120 millimeters, going all the way up to about 480 millimeters. And that is pretty good for the size. This is, well, yes, it is a big lens, but as an example, this is my 24 to 105. Yes, it is wider, but let's take that off as well. That lens needed clean. But look at the size difference between the two lenses. Now, yes, this one is a full frame lens. This is a beautiful lens. I love this lens. But this, that's just, what? Why is it so small? And so putting it on a crop censored camera would be best. Now, if you put this on something like the 7D and the 7D Mark II that have a higher FPS burst rate than this or my 5D, it would be a really nice and good sports beginner camera, especially if you can't afford something like the 1DX Mark III or the Mark II or even the Mark I, because Canon. Anyway, this, for the price, is a really nice lens. So yes, I would advise you to get one, because you're getting such a reach out of it for what? You can pick these lenses up for about 75 to 100 pounds. The only problems with this lens is the fact that it is a little bit slow to focus, because I think they are using an inferior focusing motor. So rather than an STM focusing motor. They're using an USM motor, which is a lot slower. Now, if you are zooming in to something that is far away and it is fairly still, then yeah, the focus will work. But if you're photographing, I don't know, your children running down a field or something, it's gonna be pretty hard to capture. So I would advise getting something that focuses a little bit quicker. So if you do really want to push the financial boat out, if you haven't got to worry about money, then get the 24-105 or the 24-70 f2. They are just nicer lenses. Yes, they won't have the same reach as the 75-300, even on a crop censored body, but the pictures that you get would look better. But as a beginner lens, the 75-300 is pretty good. Anyway guys, thanks for joining me in this video, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm gonna go tear this down now.